Welcome, everybody. I'm Tim McGuinness. On behalf of Silver Event Professionals, I'd like to welcome you to our series of informal interviews with leaders in the event industry. The intention of these sessions is to make them fun, brief, and informative. So let's get right to it. I'm thrilled to welcome the new CEO of the Jacob K. Javits Center in New York City, Miss Joyce Leveston. Joyce, welcome.
Thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate that. Really excited to do this today with you and
Yeah.
have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So listen, no, I do appreciate your time because I know that you have celebrated maybe 30, 45 days right on the job. So I'm hitting you right on the spot here. So,
You really are.
so but you have broad shoulders and I know you can persevere through this, but we do appreciate it. And I think it's a great opportunity because of, the Javits Center being such an iconic destination or a convention facility that we showcase you. So this is the timing is kind of good. So and Joyce, I don't know if you've ever seen some of the interviews that I've done, but if not, I always like to start off the first 5 minutes to just kind of get to know Joyce. So I'm going to kind of pepper you with some hopefully fun questions just to get your reaction and kind of first thing that pops into your head, if that's okay. So let me start off. Joyce, what's the scariest animal?
Oh God. I'm scared of spiders. I don't like spiders or mice. Mice is
Okay.
like freaks me out, and spiders are just like, I don't understand why God decided that was an important creature. But
Okay. All right. Favorite vacation spot?
oh my goodness, I just went to it and it was Turks and Caicos this past
Oh,
summer. It was amazing.
very nice. Have you been before or this is the first time?
I had not, and it has turned into I'm going to be going every year.
What is Joyce's pet peeve?
Oh my goodness. When I hear, so you've, as you know, I've been to several other convention centers, and when I hear we've always done it that way,
Yeah.
that's the way we've always done it. It's probably my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Favorite moment in your career?
So when you say moment, I would say I think about my career in ways that have, I would say this moment, being at Javits and being able to say that I've done full circle in terms of building my career. Javits is a big moment. So Javits is probably my biggest moment. But probably the work that I did doing at the George R. Brown in Houston, doing Katrina, was probably
Yeah. Yeah.
one of my greatest achievements and accomplishments. The work that we did there during that time is something that will live with me forever.
During Katrina at the George R. Brown, did they take in people as far as
We
house them?
did. We did. So they initially took them at the old Astrodome,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and then probably about a couple of weeks after all that had happened, and things weren't always going so well in some of those arena environments. We had an amazing mayor, Mayor White, Bill White, and he came to us one morning and said, "Joyce, we're gonna shut down business." And we're going to be we're going to change this over to a shelter, but we're going to do it right. And you're a convention center, you have all these resources. You're going to take a team and you're going to get this done. And this is like at 8:30 in the morning. And he was like, and we took in our very first guest, is what we call them, our house guests, by 8:30 that evening. So in 12 hours, we
Wow.
converted that building into a shelter, into services. It was amazing. It was amazing what we were able to do, and did that for like 6 to 7 weeks.
Wow. Yeah. Terrific. Um, what is your favorite fast food restaurant?
Okay, so fast food. Okay, I'm a big burger person, so
Okay.
I'll tell you, out of California, probably In-N-Out Burger is probably my favorite fast food spot, and I don't get to get it because I live on the East Coast now, so it's kind of like it's like a dirty little thing that I get to do when I go back to the West Coast. But yeah,
You know,
Probably in,
I gotta tell you, Joyce, that's a popular choice with many people that I talk to, especially on the East Coast, where we can't get it here on the East Coast, right?
yeah.
So anyway, who were some of your mentors in the business? One or two mentors that you had in the business or have had in the business?
Yeah, I would tell you that my biggest mentor, and I still have her to this day, is Carol Wallace. She was the CEO
Sure.
at the Convention Center in San Diego. And even prior to that, I mean, getting to know her was through Tom Liegler. He was the original
Right.
CEO that was there.
Right.
And he's actually responsible for hiring me just even as a telephone operator. I remember him saying, you had 20,000 it was 20,000 people trying to get jobs at the San Diego Convention Center when they were about to open. And he said, you were there. It was crazy. You know how chaotic it was. And he said, I'll never forget your smile. You smiled through it all. You act like nobody was there but you. And I asked them and I leaned over and said, what position did she apply for? Because they'll see that smile even over the phone. They'll hear it through the phone. So I didn't know that at the time that that's what happened. It was amazing. Yeah.
So let me reminisce with you about San Diego. Do you remember the guy Skip who was out in front in the driveway?
Yes, and he's a real person. Most people didn't think he was real.
He
I
was
knew
terrific.
Skip.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was our doorman. So
Yeah.
we were the first convention center that had actual doorman, and a lot of people did not believe that Skip. They thought we just put him in brochures. They was like, "There's no real Skip,"
Yeah.
and he was a real person. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I
I
remember
love
that.
Skip.
Okay. Your favorite historical figure?
My favorite historical figure. Um, that's a really good question. I guess when you think about people that has made a difference in life, and the impact of the life that I would live, I would say people that did things that made way for us. I would probably say, um, like like a Rosa Parks, somebody that takes a stand.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
Yep.
choice. Good choice. Okay. Last question.
Okay.
This is going to test your Javits knowledge. And I actually did a little bit of research on this because I didn't remember. So the Javits Center opened in 1986.
Yep.
Can you name who either the governor of New York was or who the mayor of New York City was at the time?
I don't think I could do either, to
Okay.
be
All right.
honest with
All
you.
right.
I'm
So just,
sorry. I need to
no,
look
that's
that up.
okay. That's okay. That's okay. The governor was Mario Cuomo and the mayor was
Oh,
Ed
Cuomo
Cotton.
was there. He was the governor that long?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
So
anyway,
I knew that Cuomo was the governor of New York, but I didn't feel like it was back in 86.
yeah. Well, his dad, Mario
Oh,
Cuomo.
his dad. Okay,
Yeah.
that threw me off. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so I want to talk about your career, Joyce, because you really have had a unique career, to be quite honest with you, right? You've traveled, you've been in major facilities throughout the country. Um, and hopefully this is the icing on the cake with the Javits Center. But I know that, you started your career, as you had mentioned earlier, as a telephone operator at the San Diego Convention Center. Now, I'm assuming you started there when they opened. And so, and as a telephone operator, I mean, obviously somebody saw, you know, unique qualities in you as far as your skill set, your personality, and what you could do. What happened next as far as did somebody say, hey, you're really good telephone operator, but we're underutilizing your skills? What was the next step? Who kind of tapped you on your shoulder and said, boy, we need to do something with this woman here?
Well, I got to tell you that a person that gets the most credit for that is probably Carol Wallace.
Okay.
But prior to her, I mean, literally, when Tom Leegler was leaving and Carol Wallace was coming on, they would continue to have lunches, right? They would meet and have these lunches, and she was coming on new as the new CEO. And I remember that that I was having a tough time staying there. I wanted to stay there and I wanted to be a part of the convention center, but I was graduating from UCSD at the time and I wanted to work in sales. I had decided I would be a great salesperson. I answered their phones. I knew everything. A lot of the guests thought or the clients thought that I was already an assistant there. So I didn't understand what the problem was. I was like, I'm already fabulous. You don't know that? But, at the time, the guy that headed up I won't mention his name, but he was head of the sales. When I went to him about it, he was like, you can't work for me in sales. What makes you think you can work here in sales? And he did not see me as a person that could be part of his team. And it really disappointed me because I was like, well, we have these internship programs. Like you could bring me in as an
Right.
intern. I could be an assistant. I could start an assistant. Like I knew that I couldn't start as a sales manager, but I knew that one day I knew that I could sell that building. I knew that
Right.
I knew more about that building than probably most people. And then I loved the building. I did not want to leave. And
Yeah.
so it was disappointing. When Carol Wallace came on, she did she actually did like a town hall meeting to be introduced to all the in staff. And I don't know, that day I had like a wild hair up my butt, I guess. But I decided that I would tell her, I was like, you're amazing. You're from the Midwest, you're from Ohio, I'm from Ohio. And I just told her, I said, but I don't know if this city is ready for you. I said, and I don't know if this building is ready for you. And I said, because they're not ready for me. They don't even want me to be an assistant in the sales department. And I remember like the person that was over me at the time was thinking like, oh my God, did she just say that? But I was thinking I'm gonna be leaving anyway, so
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And literally 2 days later, I got a call from her on the switchboard asking me to meet her in the loading dock, where she said, I don't know if I have anything in sales, and I know that's what you want to do, but I believe that you'd be an amazing event manager since you say you know everything about the building. And she created an event coordinator position that allowed me to get my foot in the door as a full-time employee. And she
Wow.
said, give me 6 months, and I gave her 35 years.
So how long were you in San Diego for, Joyce?
Well, I was in San Diego for 16 years, but she gave me a career for 35 years. That's how I think about it. I've been in the business 35 years.
Got it.
I did 16 years at the San Diego Convention Center
So you transitioned though from San Diego to where? Boston at that point?
to Houston.
To Houston. I'm sorry.
I
So
went from San Diego to Houston to
okay.
Miami Beach to Washington, D.C., to Boston, to Philadelphia, and now to New York.
So I'm assuming the progression was you stepping up the ladder in each one of these facilities throughout the country at that point.
Absolutely. So that I went from a telephone operator to the event coordinator, and then I came up the event management trail. So I went from an event manager to a senior to a director, to an AGM to a GM.
Wow.
And then I became a senior vice president for Spectra.
And you were at Spectrum for how long for?
So I was at Spectra twice. When I was in Miami, I worked for Spectra, but I was at the venue at the Miami Beach Convention Center. And then I started back with Spectrum in 2019, right before the pandemic.
Okay. All right. All right. Wow. What a journey, huh?
Yes,
So,
it has
well,
been a journey.
again, congratulations on the Javits Center. I think, I mean, speaking with people throughout the industry, they are thrilled that you're there at the Javits Center. And I do want to talk, kind of, time is going by fast here. So I just do want to talk about a little bit about, what you have in store for the Javits Center, your expectation levels, your style of management, and kind of, and I know I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but, is there a plan, a 24, 36-month plan that you envision for the facility? And I know the facility just went, over the course of the last, well, several years ago now, the expansion of the facility and, the whole west side of Manhattan has redeveloped over the course of the last 30 years, kind of from being this barren wasteland with just this, facility convention center on the west side. So, So what's going on at the Javits Center as of today? Well, who do you have in the building? Tell me who do you have in the building? Is the auto show in there?
So we're loading in the auto show right now as we speak. So yes, we're preparing for the auto show. I was here till about 10 o'clock last night where they were just raising the truss. All the lighting truss was
Yeah.
raised up in most of the halls. So yeah, we're working on the auto show now. Super excited. It'll be my first auto show. I've never been to the auto show in Javits. So I know that it's very famous here. So I'm really excited about that experience. But when you talk about I appreciate you really talking about what Javis used to be and what that
Mhm.
west side of Manhattan used to be. I feel so blessed to to step into the shoes behind Alan Steele.
Yeah.
Because Alan, as you know, he experienced Javis very differently. He was a client to Javis for many, many years under George GLM. And and then he took over for about 12 years as the CEO. And it was really important for him to want to continue that legacy, to make sure that someone within the industry that understood the industry could continue to push the things that he started or began forward. So as you said, in 2021, we finished an expansion, a $1.5
Yeah.
million dollar expansion in the building, and it is amazing. This building is not, it's a new Javits. And so when you ask me, like, what are my plans for Javits? It's to make sure that the whole world knows that this new Javits, this Javits on the Hudson, you're going to hear me talk about it a lot, this is a venue with a waterfront view.
Yeah.
This is a venue that's on the west side of Manhattan that has New York as its backdrop. This is a venue that understands technology and sustainability. This is a venue that's about people, and I'm about people. So when you talk about my leadership style, my style is very collaborative. It's about thinking about the people first and making sure that the people, because the people they make the venue, right? I came up through
Yeah.
the industry as a telephone operator and as an event coordinator. And so I really got to know from the loading dock to the boardroom, right? And I got to know the clients and the clients that travel, and they go from the west side of the country to the east side of the country. They go up to the northeast. And so they get an opportunity to see all the venues and what venues do, what they do well, what they don't do so well. And one of the things that I want them to do is I want them to re-talk about Javits. I want them to talk about Javits and experience Javits in ways they haven't done before. We are the international business capital of the world right
Yeah.
here in New York. And I want them to see how we can be a stage for that type of business, those type of events, those types of, and that we are multifaceted, right? When I think about who Javits is, I don't just think about, like, people might just think, oh yeah, we do the car show there, or maybe I've gone and done a trade show there. But they haven't really thought about the amazing corporate pieces of corporate business that we
Yeah.
can do here, or the education and resource that we have within, this region.
Yeah, you know what I think? People are excited that they're excited that you're at the facility, first of all, right? And I think they're excited more or less. And as somebody who's worked at the Javits Center for a very long time, and produced many shows there, is that the person in your position was always kind of a political appointee from the
Mhm.
governor's office. And it was refreshing. And it was refreshing when Alan got the position because he came from the organizer side of the business. And it was refreshing to see that they continued suit with, choosing somebody from within the industry that knows the industry, that knows the customer experience and what's important to a customer.
Mhm.
So they made a fabulous move with your hire. So any concerns or challenges that you see, Joyce, ahead? And I know that's a little bit of a loaded question, but um, are there concerns or challenges that you see going ahead regarding the facility or what's going on in the event business, that could
Yeah.
impact the facility?
Yeah, I will tell you that we're already starting to see some of the political decisions that are being made, outside of
Yeah.
our area,
Yeah.
that could impact. One of the goals that I have, for our building is to really attract more international business,
Yeah.
to in specialty international, venue, business, such as like, COPA, for an example, would be a great event to have here because of our sustainability and climate pledge, commitment to climate pledge. But right now, like those things it's going to happen. I'm not concerned that it won't happen. I believe that we can make it, that we're going to be able to book it, but it's got that international piece
Yeah.
of business is going to be a little slow roll because we're seeing it impact the current business that we have. We just had the
Yeah.
toy fair, and they're seeing it impact their vendors and their exhibitors. And so, moving forward, like because we have this event every year, we're going to have to think about how we help support our current clients, in these times where it's going to be more rocky. It's going to be rocky before it
Yeah,
smooths out again.
you and I had talked briefly before we got on camera here about, my good friend, your good friend, about his event. And in speaking with him last night, he's concerned about,
Mhm.
because they have a sizable portion of their event that's international, and the impact that's gonna potentially occur with his event. So, but it's just something that we watch day to day, and we're going to have to manage at some point. So,
Exactly. And in New York is different because New York, sometimes we can stand outside of areas that maybe other states or cities can't do, right? International business is still going to happen in New York when it's not happening in other places. But we're also going to feel the effects of how it is going to impact our customers and our clients. So we have to be really honest and fair about that. I can also tell you that, just in general, not enough people know about who Javits is and what it has, what this
yeah,
new product is. And so it's an opportunity for me to really do a new brand relaunch of Javits, which I intend to do, and really just kind of hit the circuit at whether I'm at IMAX, whether I'm at IMAX Frankfurt, whether I'm at IBTM, whether I'm at PCMA, really just talking up, the positive, amazing things that's happening
yeah,
at Javits. One of my really big, opportunities I hope to do, before this first year is out, is be voted as one of the best places to work. Javits to be voted as
right.
one of the best places to work because we have 10% of our staff have been here more than 20 years.
Wow.
They love this building. They're proud of this building. And so I want to be able to tap into the people, and have the people's story be part of what the fabric is of the experience that guests can expect when they come to New York.
Well, I'm sure your new colleagues again probably are just as thrilled as the customers at this point with having you in your new position. And I know believe it or not, our time is up. So, and I hate to, cut short the conversation because you've been fabulous and I'd love to speak with you more. But again, congratulations, and well deserved. And I know you got a lot on your plate. As you mentioned earlier, you're drinking water through a fire hose right now, but I'm sure it'll calm down. So, but Joyce, I do want to again thank you and wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Have a good day.
you too, Joyce.